What's up, everybody? Jack Farr here on behalf of Box to Box Football. I'm joined with James. And James, unless you've been living under a rock, this Portuguese guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, Cristiano Ronaldo, has actually made his return to the Premier League, to Manchester United,
Rings
to the
a bell,
club.
Jack.
Who?
Rings a bit of a bell.
Which guy?
I'm trying to, not quite sure.
He's back at the club that made him great. Now, I think you and I would both agree that we know that he's going to have success, but obviously the question is, what level of success are we talking about here? So what James and I are going to do, we're going to look at some of the over-unders in terms of betting, and we're going to basically pick what we would choose, whether you would go over on this betting or whether you would go under on the number. Now, to those of you who aren't familiar, over-under betting works at Vegas will set a line where they think it might be around then, and you then get to make the choice whether you think it will be above or below that mark. So, James, first of all, most important one, the one you'd imagine he's been brought in for, goals. Vegas has Cristiano Ronaldo, keeping in mind he's missed a couple of games of the Premier League season. Vegas has set the line at 21.5 goals for Cristiano Ronaldo this season for Manchester United in the Premier League. Over or under? Tell me why.
It's Cristiano Ronaldo, and I don't think the Premier League is as tough as it once was, like defensive wise. I look at Ronaldo and I just seen a bona fide goal scorer. His last 2 years at Serie A, 20 plus goals. He's gonna get a bunch of penalties. He's gonna take them, especially with Manchester United. I know he's missed the first 3 games, but Ronaldo is the type of guy that probably gonna play all 35 games, maybe 33, maybe miss out on a few. I see over, Jack. I see over, maybe around 25 for Ronaldo this season.
Wow, that's high. I actually think it's going to be a little lower. I do think that it will be, I would still pick the over. I'm going to go for, like 22, 23 goals. I agree with a lot of your points there. Penalties is big. I think Bruno Fernandes is going to bend the knee to his international captain, and obviously I'm sure his buddy as well. I think he's going to feast on the poor. I think we know that about Cristiano Ronaldo. There will be the odd brace and the odd hat trick against a team who just can't handle with him. And then we know this is the most clutch player of all time. We're going to get some 90-plus minute headers or 90-plus minute tap-ins or deflected free kicks or anything like that. So I do think that's what he's there for. And James, I think we know this now, this is not going to be a guy who's going to be defending from the front, running around, being a playmaker. This guy's going to be in and around the box, occupying the centre-backs and scoring goals. That's going to be his thing.
Well, that's just what Ronaldo does. I get it, he isn't the player that he once was, but I feel like he's even more of a goal scorer now. Right. And I feel like he's a better goal scorer than like what he was when he was at Manchester United. He knows the areas to pick up. He's not going to be involved in play, but he will be on the end of a lot of crosses and a lot of shots on goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So both of us over on that one. So obviously James and I don't offer financial advice, but I think we're both pretty strong on the hitting the over on that category. Next up, James, assists. So not necessarily Ronaldo's strong suit, but Vegas has set the line, and I think they've set this really, really nicely because it makes me kind of think 50-50. 7.5 assists for Ronaldo this year. Are you over or are you under?
I feel like one thing people need to get straight is that Cristiano Ronaldo is a winger. He does have over 120. He has over 150 assists in his career. I think there was one season for Real Madrid. He clocked like 25 assists, like in a season next to Mesut Ozil. So to say the guy isn't an assist man is, I think, it's a bit of an understatement and doesn't quite complement Ronaldo's ability. I feel this season, I don't feel like he's going to get that many assists. I think you're looking at the 5 to 6 range, just under the 7. I feel like he'll get like a decent amount, but I don't think it's going to be over 7. I'm looking around 5 or 6. I will go for that. He's going to be in the box a lot more. He might have games where he plays out wider or like drifts or like he's a striker who drifts out wide, but you're not going to see him, the player, putting in the ball into the box and making the crosses. He wants to get on the end of them crosses.
See, James, we spend too much time together. We talk to each other too much because I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that his ability to assist is an underrated facet of his game. I think that we know the physical athlete he is, that we know even layoffs and that kind of thing can be and have shown to be historically a part of his game. But we know what this man's about. It's scoring goals. And especially with his newfound position. And also, James, I think I look at the other areas of the pitch. We've seen Paul Pogba leading in assists so far this season. We've got Bruno Fernandes there, who is the main playmaker. You've got a fullback in the shape of Luke Shaw, who's always going to provide options from that standpoint as well. So, my opinion, I just think it's not going to be his job. That's all. I think he'll get assists, but I think there'll be somewhat accidental assists. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be really his intent. It will just be a pass where maybe a pass on the edge of the box and a Scott McTominay or a Pogba hits it from deep, and then we kind of go from there. But yeah, I'm going to go under there. I think I agree with you. A 5 or 6 is about right.
And just a quick one: Ronaldo has over 100. No, Ronaldo has 194 assists in his career. So
right.
he might definitely hit his 200 with Manchester United. So the guy who's not an assist man could get over 200 assists in his career. I'm just saying.
And again, we've talked about this before. If there's one person who's aware of his own achievements and his own milestones in the history of the sport, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. He'll know that number and he'll know how close he is.
I think he's like 13 or 6 off the Premier League 100 club list. So
he'll be getting there. He'll be getting there. So James, next one, and this is the one. The only reason I included this is because I just found it so interesting. Because to me, it's surprisingly low. So I will start on this one. Over or under 4.5 headed goals this year. Now, to me, this is over all day. I think that if you're looking at, for me, 22, 23 goals for Cristiano Ronaldo this year, yeah, I'm thinking like 6, 7, maybe even up to like 8 headed goals this year from Cristiano Ronaldo. I just think, with a Pogba, with a Fernandes, with a Luke Shaw, with those guys and the kind of options that they give you aerially, and Cristiano Ronaldo's ridiculous ability in the air, to me, 4.5 headed goals this season, that's like weirdly low. So I would hammer the over on that. What do you think?
This is my opinion. So I've seen some of the greatest headers of the ball ever. Didier Drogba, one of them. Tim Cahill is another, and I could probably list more, but they're not coming to my head right now. But in my opinion, the greatest header of the ball in the history of football is Cristiano Ronaldo. Just his ability, not just to leap in the air, but to time the headers and also the distance that he scores with. There was one goal for Manchester United around 2007 or 7-8 where a ball came in for Paul Scholes and he headed it from the penalty spot. And, he ran in from the 18-yard box, leaped on a penalty spot, bulleted the goal into the bottom corner. Also, interesting fact, that game was against Roma. So Jack might hate that, but Ronaldo's game right now is a full number 9.
Right.
Yeah. And to me, his biggest attribute is his aerial threat and his ability to find space in the box. Just see what he was able to do against Ireland. Ball was flooded with Irish players, but Ronaldo finds a way, finds a yard, with a bit of movement here or there to create that space to win that header. 4, 5, Jack, I think he might be getting 7 to 10 headers. That is going to be Ronaldo.
I agree with you. That is crazy low for me. I would just consider putting money on that straight away. Again, we're not giving financial advice, and if you want to lose money, maybe you listen to me and James. But I think that one sticks out to me like a sore thumb. I think the goals, the assists, you go, oh, fair enough, it might be over, but it also might be under. This one, can't see it being below that. I just can't. And James, the final one, just because I think this opens the most interesting form of discussion. Manchester United trophies this season, 1.5. Over or under?
Oh,
because that's been set perfectly. That's one that I've set.
That is that is a tough one because Man United could blink this season and just be empty-handed again. Because you look at what Manchester United have set out to do. I think the league and the Champions League is the priority. How serious are they going to take the FA Cup and the League Cup? And that's where the disparity goes. I do think Man United wins something this year. I think I will not be surprised if it's one of the big ones, if it is the Champions League, because
Right.
do not rule them out in this situation. They're one of the most dangerous teams to actually play against, and also the Premier League. So I don't think it's going to be 1.5. I think it will be 1, but not 1.5, unfortunately.
I tend to agree with you. I'm not going to deny. I thought I might tempt you into like maybe a Premier League and then one of the cups or something like that. I agree with you. The Champions League. I do think that there's a certain level of, you know, across the team, you've got experience in that competition and also elite ability within that kind of level of position. Ronaldo, Varane, you know, these are guys with more Champions Leagues than the club they play for. You know, we can't forget that. So these guys know what they're doing when they get there. A lot of the players feel ready to take that next step, but for me, it probably was a little too much. I do have them winning the Premier League, but I don't think I'm not confident in it. I'm really not. I think that there are 4 teams who can do it, and if any of the other 3 teams do, I'll look at you, I'll shrug, and I'll go, yeah, of course. Of course Liverpool won it. Of course Chelsea won it. Of course Man City won it. The domestic cups is the one where I think they get at least one of them. I really do feel strongly about that. And you talk about whether it's going to be their focus or not. I don't think it matters. Because I think that even a backup Manchester United team can make semi-finals in these competitions very, very easily. You just look at the squad depth generally, and you just think to yourself, man, a team like that could even make it to a semis. And once you get to a quarter semi-final type position, that's when the starters start coming in, because you think, oh, we might have a chance at silverware here. So yeah, a Carabao Cup, an FA Cup, one of those I can see happening. And I'm not going to rule out the other ones, but 2 of them in the first year with some of these new players in, Solskjaer as the coach, especially in a final. We saw what happened against Villarreal. I'm not so sure, so I'm going to go with 1.
Yeah, same. Like, but I won't be surprised if like Solskjaer and like the team does talk about it, and then they first tag that League Cup. Because as much as people banter about the League Cup, to me, it's a good foundation to build on for the rest of the season. I know statistically it showed that once you win the League Cup, you kind of tend to go down from there. But to me, I think for a psychological barrier for Man United, is getting through that leap of winning the title, the fact, winning a trophy. The fact that it was semi-final, then finally got to a final and choking at that stage. For them just to win it would help them, let's say, in a title run or even going into the latter stages of the Champions League.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. But guys, you've heard me and James. We've talked about goals, assists, headed goals, and Manchester United trophies. What do you think? Are you hammering the over on all of these because you think Ronaldo's that great? Are you hammering the under because Father Time's caught up to him? You know, who knows, right? But let us know in the comments. Please drop a like on the video. Help support us in terms of the algorithm, that kind of stuff. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell to make sure you get a notification. On the road to 500 subs, James.
We're guys, we're on the road to our 500, so if you haven't already, just please hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to get monetized, you know, nearly halfway through getting monetized, so just keep on hitting and just keep on supporting, guys.
But until next time, guys, we'll see you.